evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mihir Joshi, and welcome to week 9 of the MJ Show lockdown season. And I've got an amazing week ahead for you guys. I've got some fantastic guests who I'm going to be featuring on the show, and I can see my first guest of this week, my first guest for today, is already here with me. You know what? Instead of giving her her on, and we're going to talk a lot more, I'm going to give you a chance to get to know an incredible artist by the name of Avanti Nagral. Hey, Avanti.
Hello.
Good to be on the show.
Thank you so much. I loved your little intro. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How have you been? What's happening?
I've been good. It's been a crazy time, as it is for everybody. So I graduate from college on Thursday, which is wild. And
And like everyone else, I'm assuming you also had an online graduation ceremony.
Yeah, so Harvard's decided to do its virtual situation on like YouTube live stream or something, and so it'll be interesting, and we'll see. But grateful to be done wherever I am in the world.
So just so that everybody knows right now, I know that you've been doing some incredible stuff, and you've just finished, like you said, your degree from Harvard, but you were doing a parallel degree somewhere else as well, right? What was that?
Yeah, so I'm doing a dual degree at Harvard and the Berklee College of Music, and basically how it works is you get your bachelor's degree at Harvard and you get your master's at Berklee. So I have my 5th year master's this year, but I'd already arranged for that to be primarily online because I was going to be touring, but obviously that's not happening right now with music. So instead, we're all pivoting as musicians and working on a lot of digital projects, and it's been fun. I've been able to work on a lot of music, which has been good. But
now I've been seeing you've been putting a lot of interesting videos on your Instagram. Some really fun videos of you not just singing songs but also doing fun stuff on the TikTok videos, and I keep telling you on Instagram how much I enjoy watching, and not just you, everybody's been doing that. I think that's one of the things of this lockdown where I've seen so many singers, actors, everybody doing TikTok fun videos, and I think it's fun. It's a great way of connecting with your fans, and it's so much fun. But let's talk about. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I think it's right. This time is hard for everybody, and for those of us who are, like you and me and other folks who are creating content, right, or who are in this space. I think we also need our own outlet. So long as we treat it like an outlet, we are able to,
Yeah, I know, and especially because in the last few days there has been this huge. Well, let's not even call it a fight. It's just been this massive uproar all across social media, the whole YouTube versus TikTok thing. And what's your take on it? Before you say anything, let me just say something. I don't think a platform is bad. A platform like a YouTube or a platform like a TikTok or an Instagram or whatever, that isn't bad. The content that somebody decides to put on it, that content and the responsibility of that individual who puts up that content is what is to be questioned. Rather than saying the platform is bad or whatever. So that's my take on it. What did you think about all of that?
So Ranveer, as in Beer Biceps, had a really good video on this, which y'all should definitely check out. YouTube versus TikTok on YouTube, quite obviously. But his whole point was that at the end of the day, a platform is a platform, right? And it's a way to connect with folks. And like you said, it comes back to the sense of responsibility and duty, and it comes back to a sense of it's a way to connect with folks and fans. In fact, I think a lot of us neglect platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn and others that could also be useful tools, and if you're in the business or space of trying to create a brand across platforms, just see them all as different verticals. Each one has its own, like one is vertical, one is horizontal. So that's obviously one aspect of it. But the other aspect is just, it's not for everybody, but if you're somebody who feels comfortable on them, so long as you have that sense of responsibility, no matter what you are, right? Whether you're on any platform or even in real life, like you should have a sense of responsibility to yourself and to people around you.
Absolutely. And like you said, you got to be responsible no matter whether it's a digital platform or if it's real life. But what, let's move beyond that. Let's get to some music. So now, we've spoken before, and we've had a chance to chat before, but for people who are new people who are watching this for the first time, why don't you tell everybody how young were you when you first got into music? I know it's kind of been there as a part of your family. You've trained under a really very very great guru. So tell us a little bit about your start in the world of music.
So I joke about this, but it's honestly true when I say that I started music when I was, in my mother's uterus, essentially, because my dad, and a lot of people know this now because we've been putting up some videos together. My dad plays tabla on the side. I mean, business-wise, he's in the tech business and tech space, but he's always played on the side, and he used to teach as well. And so I grew up around that, and I was born in the US, and so I grew up doing a lot of bhajans and things of that nature. And then when I moved to Bombay, I started training under Dr. Prabhatreji's tutelage, and she's amazing. I mean, she's still at it. I was speaking to her yesterday. For those of you who don't know, she is an incredible classical artist who's been in this industry for 60 plus years. She's also a lawyer. She was on All India Radio for many years. It's insane. And she told date, so she's at the Gurukul in Pune, and she's there with her manager essentially. And because she's 88, obviously she can't do a lot of household tasks. So she's like, I'm cooking and I'm dusting because I want to feel useful. And I'm like, you should just be sitting. You should not be doing anything. But she's literally insane. She's like, nahin, main to pagal ho jaungi. So I was like, cool.
No, she's an absolute legend. I mean, for anybody who's into classical music, that name is extremely familiar and always spoken with great respect. And it's amazing that you got an opportunity to study under her. So, let's start off today's the music aspect of our conversation, because we always do that, with something that you learned under her. It could actually be a classical piece or a bandish or something along those lines that you would like to sing for everybody right now, because everybody is accustomed to hearing you sing your English songs and pop music and newer songs. So it would be great to hear something that you started with your music training with.
Totally. Let me, if we're gonna do it properly, let me just pull up a Tanpura sound on YouTube.
Go for it.
And yeah, let me think which one makes most sense. I can sing a bhajan because I feel like that's most cool. So this is a bhajan that she taught me called Ram Bhagat, and it's one of my favorites. So I'll sing a couple lines. Ram Bhagat Shri Hanuman, Ram Bhagat Shri Hanuman, Deen Rain Japat Ram, Deen Rain Japat Ram, Ram Bhagat Shri Hanuman, Ram Bhagat. Hridaya basat Ramchandra, Hridaya basat Ramchandra, Nayana pujit Ram charana, Nayana pujit Ram charana, Mukh se boli Ram Ram, Mukh se boli Ram Ram, Ram Bhagat Shri Hanuman, Ram Bhagat. Just a couple lines.
That was beautiful. That was really nice. And as you can see, people here are also enjoying it. No, for sure. I always say I've had the pleasure of talking to a few other young singers who've been classically trained. And there's just so much value that a good classical training can give you. I mean, even if you're singing pop music or if you're singing English music or whatever you want to do, I think having a base of Indian classical music is just phenomenal. And even when you sing your pop music stuff, I can see that it stands on a foundation of real solid training, which is awesome. Speaking of which, what's new in terms of music that you've been putting that you either have put out recently or that you're going to be putting out soon?
Yes, I have some very exciting projects coming up soon, so I'm super excited. And some are in different languages. A lot of my original music that's been released thus far has been primarily in English or with some other words. But yeah, I have some Hindi projects and some other stuff coming up soon, which I'm very excited about. And I guess the thing that I can share is that there will be something coming out in June, which is very apt to our current situation, and will reveal details about my personal life that nobody has seen before. So that's all I can
That's
say right
awesome.
now.
That was
I'm excited.
Now I'm looking forward to watching that because I remember we spoke when your last music video had dropped, which is what about?
Sneaking around. Yes.
Yes, no, we spoke about what 5 months ago, 4 5 months ago, maybe more.
Yes.
Gosh, now time has just become such a inconsequential thing. You don't remember how many days, weeks, months have passed by. But yeah, that video was really really nicely done. I told you even back then. I thought that was a really really nicely done video. And so you got the song that you're putting out in June is something that you've written, or how tell us a little bit.
This one I've co-written. I had an incredible other co-writer on this project. Her name is Natanya. She's amazing. And I put out a song in February as well called "He Makes Me." And we have another version of that song with a music video coming out soon. The only issue is literally the video needs 3 hours of work. That's it, Mihir. But it's stuck at Famous Studios on their baseline system because of the lockdown. Everything had to be immediately abandoned. So, fingers crossed that we're able to get it out soon.
Well, let's hope that once this 31st May, which is the lockdown 4.0, as it's called, date gets done, things ease up a little bit, at least, though logic tells me that it won't. Logic tells me that very likely we'll be going through lockdown 5.0 very soon, at least for Mumbai, because things are not all that great here in Mumbai. So social distancing and enforced social distancing is essential because if everybody was responsible, then we would have a much cleaner and much nicer city, and not having the crazy things that we do have in our city. Okay, let's talk about the music. So we spoke about music that you grew up on, and that was your foundation. So what was the next kind of music that you fell in love with? Obviously, like you said, you were born in America, or you were born in India, and then
I was
you were
born
born
in
in
the US
America.
and I lived there when I was 9, and then I moved
Okay.
here.
Okay, so obviously English music was a very important aspect, I'm assuming, of your childhood and your teenagers. What was the kind of music that you heard as a teenager in English, which made you think that, wow, I want to be a singer and I want to be able to sing songs like this? Who was that artist for you?
So actually, interestingly enough, I didn't start actively listening to pop music until I was about 13, 14, or 15, because of my training, but also when I was in Bombay, I went to a Christian high school, so I was exposed to a lot of church and gospel music. So I'm happy to share some of that foundation too. And I did a lot of professional theater even while I was in high school, and then Agnes of God, which we've spoken about before, and I can share with everyone. So I've had these eclectic background styles. I think when I was younger, because I at the time it was I'm still a 90s baby, right? Late 90s. So, this whole streaming was not as big a deal at the time. So people used to download stuff on LimeWire and, that whole phase. And so I remember one of the first few artists that I heard and really, really enjoyed was Avril Lavigne, which I know is interesting and atypical, but she's awesome.
Very cool. But before we get into the pop stuff, I am very intrigued about the gospel music that you heard and sang. So, is there a song that you learned back then, with gospel roots that you still remember and you can still sing right now? Can we hear a bit of it?
Totally. So why don't I'll sing I'll sing a couple lines of Amazing Grace because I feel like that was, something that kind of connected everybody. And then with the theater thing I'll sing a little kind of Broadway inspired. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Perfect. So let's do Amazing Grace and get into the vibes. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. Yeah, just a couple lines.
That was beautiful. You know, when you sang that, it also made me think of. Are you a fan of country music at all?
I am a huge fan of country music, which most people don't know.
I'm a huge fan of country music too. So let's get to country music after you've talked about Broadway. Let me hear something that you did maybe during your acting stints during school and college.
Totally. So I was part of, y'all must have, maybe some of you might have heard of this show called The Vagina Monologues, which, took part all across India. So Vagina Monologues was written by Eve Ensler, and she has another show called Emotional Creature. So I was a featured singer in their show, and so the song that I used to do was The Day After That by Liza Minnelli. So let me get into that vibe. We have to channel all the different vibes today. Someday we'll be free. I promise you we'll be free. If not tomorrow, then the day after that. And the world that brings us pain and fills our lives with fear, on the day after that we'll disappear. And the war we fought to win, I promise you we will win. If not tomorrow, then the day after that, or the day after that.
Yeah. That was so cool. I love the fact that we went from classical to gospel to Broadway in the span of like 10 minutes right now, and you nailed each of them. That was really, really cool. So, we were going to talk about, the music that you heard as a kid, as a teenager, Avril Lavigne, as you mentioned. But I'm actually a little more interested now in having a talk about your love for country music. What's the kind of country music that you love? What's the kind of oh, by the way, also, I just realized when you talked about Broadway, did you check out Glee when it came out?
Of course, yes.
I thought that was the closest that I've seen to seeing like a Broadway musical or like a musical on television. And it was so brilliant the way they reinterpreted songs. They actually gave second life to so many songs. Like, I can bet Journey must be thanking their asses right now, thinking like, holy shit, people know our songs more right now than they did when we were like, well, okay, at their prime, they were humongous. But I think everybody had forgotten about Journey for the longest time until Glee got it back. But okay, I digress. Let's talk about your love for country music.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe it was because I grew up, again, the few songs I had on the iPod, I grew up listening to Rascal Flatts and Carrie Underwood, and they're incredible. And I have a huge penchant. It's so funny because I don't drink, so like I don't relate to the like beer drinking culture. I'm not trying to put out girls in my truck, so it's not like that is my connection. But I just love the storytelling aspect of it. It's in the details, and it's in you can picture everything that happens in a country song, and there's so many wonderful. I think female artists have often been put to the side in country music, but today there's so many incredible female artists. It's amazing.
So for me, I think George Strait is for me my number one country artist of all time. I think the way he sings, it's so simple, yet it tells you a story and it connects with you in such a deep and meaningful way. Like there was a song of his called Love Without End, Amen, it's just like a song between a father and a son. And ever since I had my baby boy, that song has, become so much more important to me, so much more meaningful to me. And even when you say female country artists, for instance, I think Trisha Yearwood and Carrie Underwood, of course, Reba McEntire, so many older country artists also who are incredible. And who's the one? Gosh, my brain doesn't work. The bluegrass singer who's got like more Grammy awards than anybody else in the world.
Casey Musgraves. She won the
No. So she's a bluegrass singer and she's been with Alison Krauss. Thank God I didn't need to. My brain, I would have really been annoyed with me if I could not remember her name because everybody loves When You Say Nothing at All. So she had done a version which Ronan Keating actually heard and said, okay, I want to do a cover of it. And actually Ronan, both Alison Cross and Ronan Keating had actually done a cover of another country artist who'd originally written that song. So, there's some great country music. I didn't, like you said, the best part about country music is the storytelling, the ability to take you into that world. Another guy, great storyteller is Brad Paisley. Have you heard the song of his called Raining You?
No,
If you've not,
but I'm going to add that to my list.
please do. And not just for Avanti, but for everybody watching right now. If you've not heard that song, oh my God, I can't tell you how much I love that song. Every time I hear that song, I have tears in my eyes because here's the metaphor that he's used. He's basically, he's talking about a woman he's lost. She's passed away very likely, and he loved her immensely. And he says that the only time I feel you around me is when it's raining. So I don't want the rain to ever stop, because when it's raining, I feel like I'm enveloped by you. And that's when I feel the closest to you. And even if I'm crying at that point of time, nobody can see my tears because the rain washes it away. And the tears are of me loving you and remembering you. Oh man, I mean, I didn't sing it, but even the note, the word raining you itself, when he sings that line, he goes into this beautiful falsetto. It's unbelievable.
Can you sing a couple lines? Some people are asking. And it's by Brad Paisley for Richa, who's asking.
Okay, let me see if I can find. I'm 100% sure I don't have the track, and it's a little high for me. I'd be happy to sing you a George Strait song, because I know George Strait's vocals are my kind of vocals. But Brad Paisley is. Oh, but you know what? Just because I love the song, even if I mess it up a little bit, I will sing a line or two of "Raining You" for you and for everybody watching it right now. So I just looked it up on YouTube right now. There's a -1 track. Hopefully, it's decent enough. And okay, I'm on a different and get over. Okay, there you go. Ads over. Now let's see. Can you hear the track?
A little bit, yeah.
Now I increase the level. Did not expect to be singing, so okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's not a -1 track. Hey, YouTube, don't screw around with me like that. See, this is what happens in a live video. This is proof to you guys that we are so completely live. I wanted a karaoke track. I searched for a karaoke track, and I get a non-karaoke track. Hey, YouTube, what's up with that? Okay, I'll sing it for you without the music. Hopefully, then I'll be able to actually sing it in my key instead of singing it in that very, very high key. Let me just open up words so that I don't mess that up. Raining You. All right, here we go. We've got Raining You, and I got my ukulele. Let me just get the first key. What key is it in? I looked day and saw the sky was gray. Thought about the way you love days like this. And he's obviously singing an octave higher. Let me try. No, man, it's going to be too high. I hate this. I hate being put on the spot. Wait. Let me try this out. Okay, let me see if we can get there. Driving in the town, really started. Fuck it, I'm not going to spoil the song for you guys. Just trust me when I say this, it's a good song. I messed it up right now, but go and watch it the moment this episode gets over, and you can thank me later. I'll just tell you what the lyrics say, okay? Driving into town, it really started coming down, bringing me back around to all that I've missed. It feels like it's raining you. I didn't, and I'll tell you the chorus. It says, I can't explain, but I'm baptized in you. It feels like it's raining you. If I had my way, it would do this every day. I would never see the sun, because the closest I get to holding you again is every time the sky opens up. So it's such a beautiful way of expressing one's missing and love for somebody who's gone. You know, and now that I have messed up a song so completely, I have to redeem myself. I'm going to sing a George Strait song for you, which I know I can, which I can sing. And you know, this song that I just mentioned, Love Without End, Amen, it was a song, like I said, which George Strait wrote from the perspective of a father talking to his son. And like I said, since I have a...
Who is amazing, and I want to hear more about it, but go ahead.
So I love singing this song. I love thinking about this song when I think about Neil, because it talks about how the love of a father for his son is endless. Sent home from school one day with a shiner on fire. Fighting was against the rules and it didn't matter why. When Dad got home, I told that story just like I'd rehearsed. Then stood there on those tender knees, waited for the word. And he said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. He said, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end. It's a love without end. When I became a father in the spring of '81, there was no doubt that stubborn boy was just like my father's son. And when I thought my patience had been tested to the end, I took my daddy's secret, passed it on to him. He said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. I said, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. So that's the song. And the last paragraph is even more beautiful because he says that, I passed and I went out, I reached heaven and I was standing outside the pearly gates. And then, suddenly they opened the gates for me. And I was wondering, there must be some mistake because I lived a really bad life. And then I heard a voice from the other side which said that, a father's love is endless. It does not end when he passes away. So he's looking after you even in heaven, and he wants you to be with him even after. It's again, it's metaphors and it's great telling through songs, and that's why I really love this song. And the first time I heard this, I didn't even have a baby, and it still hit me like, oh, it hit me so hard. And now that I have a boy, baby boy, it just makes it even more special. All right, now that this whole interlude of me messing up a song and then kind of singing a song has been done,
It's
is there
so
a
great, though. I loved it.
thank you? Is there a country song that you can we hear you sing something?
Yes, I mean, there's so many right now, but I just want to try to see if I can go OG, which is Jesus Takes the Wheel by Carrie Underwood. I don't know if there isn't good enough instrumental, but we can try it. Okay, we'll just try it.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
love it. I'm also a fan of Christian rock music. I don't know what it is, but there's, I think there's a commonality between the two. So this, I think, combines both. It's such a beautiful song. She was driving last Friday on her way to Cincinnati on a snow-white Christmas day. Going home to see her mama and her daddy with the baby in the backseat. 50 miles ago, she was running low on faith and gasoline. Ain't been a long, hard year. She had a lot on her mind and she didn't pay attention. She was going way too fast. Before she knew it, she was spinning on a thin line sheet of glass. She saw both their lights flash before her eyes. She didn't even have time to cry. She was so scared. She threw her hands up in the air. Jesus, take the wheel. Take it from my hands. I can't do this on now. I'm letting go. So give me one more chance. Take me from this road I'm on. Jesus, take the wheel. Oh, take it from me. And the song keeps going on, but.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Such an amazing song, and I mean, Carrie Underwood knocked it out of the park with this one. This is such a beautiful song. I still remember that. Speaking of Carrie Underwood and India and American Idol and reality shows, did you check out this guy called Alejandro Aranda in last year's American Idol?
No, writing all these down because I definitely
Please
will.
do. You know what? I actually tweeted this to American Idol. Not that they saw my tweet, but if they did, that would be great. I said, you know what? If you just make a DVD, if you make a DVD or a Blu-ray disc of Alejandro Aranda's every performance on American Idol and just put it out, you will have the highest selling product that you guys have ever created in the whatever 19, 15, whatever number of seasons of American Idol that there have ever been.
I love
His
that.
kitchen video blew everybody's mind. He's an amazing guitar player and he also plays the piano. So he comes in very unassuming Mexican American kind of a guy, just walks in, very shy, timid. And, now the judges are Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Luke Evans. No, Luke
Yeah.
Evans, no. What's the guy's name? Luke Bryan, yeah. And he says, okay, I'm going to sing you an original. And he sings that original and he plays the guitar like an unbelievable maestro. Like it's unbelievable to see what he's doing with the guitar. And you should see the faces of all three of the judges. It's like, you don't know what's hit them. And then, Lionel Richie says, hey, you just said you play the piano too, right? He's like, yeah, I've not played it in quite a while, but I'll give it a shot. There's a piano there. He goes and sits on that and he plays the piano. And again, people's faces drop. And throughout the season, this is the one guy who literally won. He came second, by the way, which is like the most ridiculous thing in the universe that I can think of. But he sang so many original songs throughout the season. It was unbelievable. And then he did one song with Ben Harper and he did a cover of a Post Malone song, which I think is better than the original. So, today I've given you something really, really, I promise you after you check out Alejandro, you're going to write to me on WhatsApp and tell me that you really like this guy. I can guarantee he's like the one person I recommend to anybody right now. This is great music for lockdown as well because he's such a chilled out vibe. It's just epic. So speaking of reality shows, have you ever thought of taking part in one? Growing up?
Yeah, I mean, growing up when I was much younger, no. I think in recent past, of course, I've had a lot of folks, request or I've even been approached. But I think they're amazing, and I think that they have their place. I think it would have to be a really compelling situation for me to go on one, just because I have friends in the legal world, and I've seen the contracts to some of these. And while some of them are great, some of them are not so great, and it's hard to know which one is the right fit, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that it's a reality TV show, right? And so it's focused on TV and TRP and ratings, much less than it's focused on the talent. And of course, it's an amazing exposure opportunity. And I don't want to never say never, but I think people have to be careful because what looks to be reality is not always reality,
You really hit the nail on the head because a few days ago, Sonu Nigam had done a video. He was doing a live chat like this with somebody, and he spoke about how reality shows have changed in India itself. For instance, since the time when he used to be the host of Saregama to where it's come to now. How it's gone from being a show about talent to being, like you said, a show about storytelling and TRPs and getting drama out. Like he said, judges would never go on the floor and meet with a contestant or hug a contestant back then. Because back then the judges were also legends, like legit big legendary people who were judging the show. And they'd be like very, you're a judge, that's a contestant, you stay here, you retain that level of, not aloofness, but let's call it seniority, compared to the participants. But now it's like, okay, every second judge will want to go hug the contestant. There's like a little bit of drama and they'll dance and do this. So, I know what you mean. Today, especially, you got to be very careful what you do with taking part on a reality show. And I think that's a great answer. But that said, if you are in the US, I mean, some shows there are still retaining the ability to showcase great talent. And that's where, like you said, there's an incredible amount of exposure that one can get. I'm not saying you need it, but for young people out there, the opportunity is really tremendous. If you've got a talent and if you can showcase it, why not? So let's talk about. By the way, somebody commented something really interesting. They said the frame behind you is very beautiful. The Is that inspired by your dad or is it his choice?
It was somebody got it as a birthday gift for him. I think last year. So it's Ganesh Ji with tabla. So it makes sense, yeah, for y'all because y'all know who my dad is now, which is great.
This is awesome. So tell me something now. Let's hear something in Hindi from you. We've heard a whole bunch of English songs and we heard a bhajan at the very start. What's the kind of Hindi music that you're enjoying these days? I mean, do you get to listen to any?
I do. I think generally speaking, right, I'm a huge fan of kind of Sufi inspired stuff. I think today there's I love what some of the independent folks are doing, or like whether you take a Pratik or a Ritviz or any of the women too, they're incredible. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I'd be super happy to sing anything at a request or whatever. I've been singing, but I've been singing so much. And so many requests that at this point, like honestly, anything new that you can get out of me would be wonderful because I don't think anyone's heard country or Broadway in a while.
So I'm glad we did something new today. Like you said, you've been getting a lot of requests. I see that on your Instagram. People are always putting up more requests on what they want to hear you sing later. In all of these days during the lockdown and all the videos that you've been putting up, have you ever sung any Arijit Singh songs?
I have. I sung Ve Mahi, which he had done with Aziz Kaur. But I would be super happy to sing any of his other songs too.
Can I hear you sing a song that you like?
Of course. Let's see. I mean, he's basically sung everything, so I'm just trying to remember which is exactly his, because honestly, at this point, he's sung everything. I think, okay, so one of the songs I really enjoy of his is Bekhayali, and because it still has that, little Sufi depth, which I like. So, बेख्याली में भी तेरा ही ख्याल आए क्यों बिछड़ना है जरूरी ये सवाल आए तेरी नजदीकियों की खुशी बेहिसाब थी हिस्से में फासले भी तेरे बेमिसाल आए मैं जो तुमसे दूर हूँ क्यों दूर मैं रहूँ तेरा गुरूर हूँ हाँ तू फासला मिटा तू ख्वाब सा मिला क्यों ख्वाब तोड़ दूँ
How cool was that? So for everybody watching and people who are following Avanti as well, here I got her to sing a lot of songs that she's not yet sung on Instagram. So some new things for you guys to watch. Speaking of Instagram and speaking of social media, please make sure you're following her on Instagram. You have a YouTube channel as well, right?
I do. I have everything. So my handle is Avanti Nagral, which I'm putting in the comments. So literally anywhere.
Perfect. So tomorrow when this video goes up on the YouTube channel of the MJ Show, in the info section below, I'm going to give you guys a link to her YouTube channel as well. Go and subscribe to that. Make sure you watch all the great content that she's already put out. And she's got, like she said, she's got a new song coming out in June and one that's stuck in a studio right now with 3 hours of work left. So hopefully we'll get to see that one soon as well. But Avanti, thank you so much for being here with me today and for spending all this.
Time. I have a request though. Since we're going through genres, one genre that I would love for both of us to do a little bit of, because I know you're super into this, is kind of like the rock or the indie rock space, whatever you like. I would love to hear.
All right. So coincidentally today I'm wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt, but you know what? I love the Beatles too, though technically not like really heavy rock, but the music that they did was technically rock music for that point of time. Let me sing you a Beatles song. Let me sing you something that I've not sung before, and hopefully I won't mess up now. Okay, I'll sing you a song which I really really love, and it is, where is it? 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 It's called Girl, and it goes something like this. When I sit down in my sofa, I kind of go low, and then I can't breathe correctly. So when I have to sing, I move to the front so that I've got my breathing room back and I can sing properly. For everybody wondering, singing is all about breathing. If you breathe correctly, you'll be able to sing correctly. All right, here we go. This is a song called Girl. It's by the Beatles. I'm going to sing a little bit of that, and then I'm going to get you to sing a song as well, all right? And we'll end on that. Okay. Is there anybody going to listen to my story? All about the girl who came to stay. She's the kind of girl you want so much it makes you sorry. Still you don't regret a single day. Ah, girl, girl. When I think of all the times I tried so hard to leave her, she would turn to me and start to cry. And she promises the earth to me, and I believe her. After all this time, I don't know why. Ah, girl, girl, girl. She's the kind of girl who puts you down when friends are there. You feel a fool. And when you say she's looking good, she acts as if it's understood. She's cool, 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 cool. Girl, girl. There you go. And a little bit of Girl for You by the Beatles.
Yes. Also, I see a request for Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I'd love to honor that, but I would also love to do something in the rock space. So maybe let's focus on the rock one. Perfect. I'll probably put up a cover of Perfect soon too. Feel free to send me a DM. I think your name is Piyush.
I would love to see a cover of Perfect by you as well. I think it's a beautiful song, but like you said, let's end with the rock song. I'd love to hear you sing something in the rock space.
So, would you like to hear? The two that come to mind that I love are "Heartbreaker" by Pat Benatar or "Zombie" by the Cranberries. Which one?
Heartbreaker. I'll tell you a story about Zombie. During my radio days, I used to go to a lot of college festivals to judge events. This is about 10-15 years ago. And literally in every singing competition, I would hear at least one girl sing Zombie. So I had decided that if a girl comes in and does not sing Zombie, she already gets 5 extra points compared to anybody else who sings Zombie. So all of you who sing Zombie right now, go listen to the original. I've heard it enough times in my life to last a lifetime. I don't want to hear Zombie again. I don't even want to hear the original Zombie. I know Avanti sounds great on anything else. So I definitely want to hear a Pat Benatar song rather than Zombie.
Okay,
sorry,
and also
elaborate explanation, but yeah.
I understand. And someone has requested for My Immortal by Evanescence. That's also a beautiful song. I haven't sung that in a while, but let's try Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta get into the vibe. Yeah, exactly. You might as well, right? Since we're... Your life is like a tidal wave, spinning over my head, drowning me in your promises that are left unsaid. You're the right kind of sinner to believe my inner fantasy. That you were born to be. You're a heartbreaker, street maker. I'll take it, don't you mess around with me. You're a heartbreaker, dream maker. I'll take it, don't you mess around. No, no, no. Yeah, that's a little bit of heartbreaker.
That was awesome. And you know what? You inspired me to want to do a slightly more up-tempo rock song than Girl. If I had known you were going to do this, I would have chosen an up-tempo song to begin with. So you know what? Let's do a little bit of one more song. So you can choose one of the songs that you heard, and I'm going to do a little bit of a song by the Eagles that I love. The Eagles have always been one of my favorite bands, and here's a song that always kicks ass. This needs breathing room. Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Turn on the tube, and what do I see? A whole lot of people crying. Don't blame me. They want to crooked little fingers at everybody else. Spend all the time feeling sorry for themselves. Victim of this, victim of that. Your mama's too thin and your daddy's too fat. Get over it. Get over it. All this running and crying and bitching a fit. Get over it. Get over it. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of Get Over It, which I love. So yeah, and I used to do this with my band back in the day, and it was always so much fun because it's a song that always gets people like really, really going. So yeah, it was good
My
fun.
phone telling me about my battery. Piyush, are you still on? Are you still on the chat? If you are, then I'll sing perfect for you. So just send me a thumbs up or a heart if you're still on the chat. If not, let's think of a backup song. And oh, thank
So
you.
what are you singing?
Sankadeep, that's such a sweet comment. Thank you so much. My views on Divya Kumar Benny Dayal. What would you like to know about my views on them? I think they're incredible artists. I don't know what you want your views on. So let me know, Piyush, if you're still on the chat. Send me a thumbs up. If not, do you have any songs? Or just give me a genre. I guess we're like playing musical genre chairs.
Why don't you do a little bit of Perfect? Because that's a great way to end today's episode. Because in a few minutes from now, I'm going to have my 9 p.m. guest. I thought it'd be nice to end off with Perfect.
Yes, I love that. Okay, let's do Perfect. And this is for you, Piyush, since you requested for it. I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your hand is all I know, and in your eyes, you hold me, baby. Dancing in the dark, you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, you heard it, don't look perfect tonight. You should serenade Neha to this song.
No, we both loved it. In fact, we even loved the version that there were two more versions that he put out. One was with Beyonce, and unbelievable version that he did with Andrea Bocelli. Did you know Andrea Bocelli sang this?
Oh my God.
You got to check it out. Ed Sheeran.
New stuff to listen to, which is great.
No, it's amazing, and Andrea Bocelli can sing the dictionary and make it sound great. He's phenomenal. So yeah, but you know what? As you sang so beautifully. Thank you so much for singing so many songs for everybody and getting me to sing. I did not plan on singing today, so completely zero warm-up singing. So yeah, the thing is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to say that you are a singer, if somebody tells you to sing, you got to figure a way out to make your body work and sing. You can't make excuses. You can't say, "अरे गला खराब हो गया ये मेरा गला permanently खराब हो गया अभी 2 महीने से हर रात 2 घंटे बातें कर रहा हूँ फिर रात को लेट सो रहा हूँ." Everybody's voice is pretty messed up, but yeah.
जरूर हल्दी पानी पीजिए. That's exactly what I'm having right now. आपकी बात सब हो जाएगी.
I really do need that right now. You know what? This is going to be so for everybody watching right now. I've been going live since the 30th of May, and this is week 9 of the MJ show in the lockdown season.
March.
I've been going week 9, yeah. So Monday to Saturday, almost 2 shows a day. And in fact, last Saturday were my 99th and 100th guest. So you're my 101st guest of the lockdown season. And I've decided that on the 30th of May, that is this Saturday, we're going to take a break after that for a little while. I'm going to spend a little more time with my family because I've spent 9 weeks doing this with you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed having everybody who's come on the show, and today I've had the pleasure of chatting with you, Avanti. Thank you so much for being here with me. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for tuning in. And we hear you're awesome. You know, by the way, if y'all are into wrestling or y'all are into, like, he has really interesting things. So definitely go check him out. If y'all don't know Mihir, go check him out. He's incredible. And you also do a column, right, about being.
I was going to call him on parenting. I never thought I'd be writing about parenting, but I'm writing about parenting from my perspective about being a dad to my son and learning things along the way. Because Neha learns like enough for 5 people, and then she teaches me a little bit, and then I figure out things. And then there are these experiences that I have with my son, and I love writing about that. So it's been fun doing that. Thanks to COVID-19, that's also taken a little bit of a break, but hope to get back to writing again soon. But very frankly, I think the MJ show is something that has given me tremendous joy too. It's kept me sane and occupied during this lockdown period, and I'm hoping that the people who tune in, a lot of you do watch it every day, and I'm really grateful to all of you who come in. So thank you very much for that, and thank you, Avanti, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me, and stay safe. Give my love to Neha and to Neil, and have a wonderful night, all of you.
Take care. See you. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back in about 8 minutes from now with Naresh Anand. You got to come and check this out because the gentleman, by the way, this gentleman I'm meeting right now, Avanti, Naresh Sharma, he is Mithun's father, Mithun, the music director. He's his father, and he's been in the industry for like ages now. He's one of those legendary arrangers, background score composers who's been in the Bollywood music industry for the longest time. And it's unfortunate that those kind of people don't really get the limelight. Like everybody knows the singer, maybe they know the music director, but people don't know, because for any film, an intrinsic part of the film is the background music as well that's happening, especially for Bollywood films. And this gentleman has done over 200 films as a background music composer and an arranger. So I'm looking forward to chatting with him. But for right now, thank you, Avanti. And let's say bye to everybody. And I'll see you guys in 7 minutes from now. Take care. Bye.